Welcome in, everybody. It is yet another episode of DB's Best Bets presented by Full Time Roundup, episode 9. Episode 9. So one more, we're at double digits, Harrison. But thank you for joining me today on this beautiful Sunday in North Carolina.
Gorgeous.
I was just on a walk trying to take it all in before the week starts. But it was a great weekend of football, and I'm excited to kind of jump in. Well, not really, honestly, to be completely honest, but I'm excited to go ahead and get right into it today. We lot of lot of games on. We had a lot of picks, so let's go ahead and lock in here and recap what was this weekend's slate. And all right, let's just
God, it's a lot of plays.
let's just get it out of the way. I was abysmal. It was just one of those weekends where I just constantly was beat on the hook. So had three. I went 0-4 on Saturday, and it was panic mode for the kid. I was like, well, there goes my record. I have 3 plays tomorrow. I mean, this could be one of those weekends where I just, lose all across the board. So I was able to, I guess, rally a little bit and go 2-on-1 on Sunday. Plus the parlay hitting was a big hit for me, but all in all, a pretty shitty weekend for me after going. I think it was like I went 9-3 last week, and then to follow that up with 2-5, that's just pretty brutal. But we shared some of these losses, which makes me feel a little bit better. So we'll jump into the first one with Leipzig Darmstadt 2-0. Leipzig seemed like they had multiple chances to score here, and just didn't.
I mean, their expected goals were 3.38. If you like, that's almost at the number already.
3.8,
They only
really?
3.38.
Ooh.
They had. I'm looking at the stats. 29 shots. I mean, so I think it's a little bit of unlucky on our part. The fact that they only scored 2 is pretty incredible because I was watching majority of the second half and they were absolutely dominating completely. Darmstadt had nothing. And they had a lot of chances, especially when Darmstadt did get the ball in Leipzig's end transition. Javi Simmons, dude, that guy is – when he's going, he is very good. And he created a lot in transition. And Darmstadt had a lot of blocks in front of goal, honestly, on some really good high-danger scoring chances. So that was a tough one. I mean, that's just one of the ones where it's a bad beat in a sense because, honestly, this one I think should have hit. But it's one of those games where you're just, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I was a little bit. I mean, it seemed like a no-brainer taking it, but after Darmstadt, I mean, I guess in hindsight, it's always 2020, but with Darmstadt just getting absolutely rocked last weekend, maybe they had a point to prove here, and it feels like they did that. Darmstadt was never going to score in this game, so we were really just banking on Leipzig to put 4 in for us. So,
And they very well could have.
And they very well could have. So, I mean, we'll move on from here, but definitely a tough beat here. The second one we had together was Luton Palace. And this was a sickening one because there's no reason why this over shouldn't have hit. Of course, Luton just makes it worse by like scoring in stoppage time, but they had chances. And the game started with a perfect, nice goal by Mateta, nice little Croy flick at the near post.
Cheeky.
That was very cheeky. Eze almost scores one from like half field, and did it just sail over? I can't remember if it was a save by the keeper. And then both teams just couldn't put the ball in the back of net. I was really hoping Palace would make it 2-0 so Luton could score a garbage time. That's how I was like imagining in my head how the game would kind of shake out here, but just could not get that last goal, unfortunately.
Yeah, this one comes down to, I think, Palace just not taking care of their chances. I mean, Palace played a really good game. I mean, Luton played the typical game that they usually do, kind of, bring the pressure onto them and then hope for transition opportunities, and they ended up getting a late equalizer. But Palace, I mean, in this game also, expected goals 2.73. I mean, and just scoring early, and the goal they score is the Cruyff that you mentioned. Like, that's a kind of a tough pill to swallow. We had over 2.5, and their expected goals is over that themselves. So again, just didn't get the bounce in this one also.
Yeah, it was really, really, really annoying. That Luton over trend was so fun. You even made a short about us taking Luton overs, and I was
It's
like,
not
"Let's
going away,
go."
Danny. It's not going
It's not.
away.
It's not. It's not. But another one of those. We posted 3 plays and on Twitter, and we went 1 and 2, so just brutal. But the other one that we did have together, we actually got a W on, which was
Mhm.
Villa Spurs over 3.5. And I mean, I checked my phone. It was the 85th minute. It was 2-0, and I was like, "Well, starting Sunday off, 0-1. This is 0-5 now." And then somehow, bang bang, two goals and extra time. I'll take it any day of the week. But we got very lucky with this one.
Yeah, don't know. There's not many times that I would say that I've been necessarily saved by Timo Werner, but good on you. Good on you, Timo.
Thank you,
Helping a brother
Timo.
out. Helping a brother out. But yeah, this one, contrasting what happened in those at first two that we just mentioned, this one is just pure luck on our side. So I don't know. Sunday, maybe just a new day. God said, let them have some cash, and uh, nice to get that one early this morning.
It sure was. It sure was. Thank goodness, though. Let's see here. We talked a lot about. Oh, I'll just get into just the awful, the good, the bad, the ugly here. Arsenal, Brentford. Actually, also just one thing I wanted to say with the Spurs game was John McGinn getting that red card. I felt like almost iced it as well. When those red cards get in, I feel like that game is immediately not gonna go over. So the fact that Spurs really laid the wood after that, I was pretty impressed with, because they could have just sat back for the rest of the time and really rested. Um, but
Feels like there's been a lot of red cards recently. Maybe a little
yeah,
more than usual, I guess, but I don't know. It just seems like a lot of the games, especially that we've been taking, there's been a red.
yeah, it is. It is a red card's usually an overkiller, which is super annoying. But Arsenal, Brentford over 3.5. One of those, another dying by the hook. Um, I mean, Ann Ramsdale just threw me a lifeline before halftime with that deflected goal. And then I was able to watch the highlights later, because I was actually going to watch the Charlotte FC match at this point, and I saw Tony
Oh,
almost scored an absolute
oh,
beaut. It seemed like Arsenal had a couple other good opportunities to put it in the back of the net, but Havertz cashes or scores one late to win it, which helps our parlay there, which was nice.
yeah.
But got beat on the hook with the over. They're probably one of those games I take again, but it's just it was one of those weeks for me where I was hoping to kind of even out on these good and bad beats, and it just leaned more to the bad side. But you had Stuttgart -1 on Friday, and that was a good one.
Yeah, I mean, last show I said I'm probably gonna take it. I don't get the line. I don't understand it, which made me super nervous, because it was only -200, and they're playing a bad Union Berlin team, and I was at home with probably a full lineup, and that just made me a little tense. But yeah, they got this one over the line, uh, which was nice to see. Not used to starting out the week with a win. That hasn't been a common theme for us.
You
So
said what? Get the jitters out, or you said something
yeah,
funny
yeah,
today.
I did. Yeah, I said something about, because we mentioned on the last one how it seems like maybe we just had the first game jitters. So maybe they're gone tentatively. So this week, Stuttgart -1, wins 2-0. Nice way to start it for me.
Yeah, no,
And then
absolutely.
also we got to get into this because I think that it's only been 3 games, but the sample size might be there already. Um, Charlotte FC. Listen, they can't score. I don't know where they're gonna. I don't know where their goals are gonna come from this whole season.
I mean, I can tell you, Leo Labata.
Yeah, but he hasn't played a game yet, so I don't know what to say. So
That's
I
fair.
mean, this one was a no sweat. Uh,
I took it with
Lorenzo
you.
Insigne, Lorenzo Insigne winner in the 80th minute. Tough for us as
Worldy.
fans, but also like Charlotte unders this year is going to be it's going to be easy. I think. I've told my brother. I told my brother about it. I said, Jax, listen, I know you don't bet soccer very much, but when you do, just trust me on Charlotte FC under because it's probably going to be a nice little play for you.
Hey, Jax, let me tell you a little story
And
real quick.
your bookie's gonna be like, "What the hell are you doing betting on Charlotte FC? You don't do this shit." And he's gonna say, "I got an inside man." But yeah, it's Charlotte unders this year are gonna be profitable.
Yeah, we'll probably keep rolling with that one weekly almost. But yeah, I wish I made that official play because I took it. And I mean, there was maybe one or two scares early on, but not really. And I mean, I'll tell you who's not going to be scoring goals. Enzo Capetti. Good Lord, he
Oh no,
misses a lot of chances. We actually are top of the league or second in expected goals in the entire MLS and we have what, 2 goals so far? So not good, not good. But that was a good play by you, and I'm glad you were able to get that. I also tailed you on the Stuttgart on Friday, so I'm glad I got to bring some coin home for that. Nice start to the weekend for sure. Now, I decided to take my talents to Ligoon, and
horrible idea. Horrible idea.
that was a mistake. I'm gonna go out and just say that was a mistake. Leon put 2 goals in the back of net away. Lorient can't even get me one goal. I mean, completely ridiculous. Just one of those days. That was a later game. I was like, please just give me this one. It'll be okay. So no, and then Monaco, Strasbourg, not even close with a 1-0 victory for Monaco. Disgusting. But what I will say is Freiburg Bochum was a gross over. And I was actually right on that one. So that was really nice. Bochum had plenty of opportunities too. So this number could have flown over, but it ended at 3. So glad I ended up taking that one.
Well, you stay away from France, and the coin comes back home. That's what they
No more
say.
France. No more France for me. They're banned. They are banned. But you took your talents to Italy and were well rewarded.
Had a lean on Torino against Napoli on Friday. I said I think that Napoli could show some regression after their big game against Juventus this past week. And Torino sneaked out a tie there. Had a similar lean for Atalanta versus Juventus. And Atalanta, I mean, another solid performance from them. 2-2 draw, back and forth game. But Atalanta have the scoring ability, honestly, one of the better scoring abilities in Italy. So yeah, that was a nice one today. Overall, a really solid week for me. Marseille Nantes still going on. Again, scary when you take your talents to France. It's currently 1-0 Marseille. But I don't know. A solid week for me. Obviously, it didn't go your way, but hey, another week to come.
Yeah, I'll be licking my wounds and be ready for this Champions League slate. Yeah, when it comes to that Atalanta game, Timo Koopmeiners, what a player he is. He put on an absolute
Mm-hmm.
masterclass today. So he's a very good player. I'm excited to see where he'll go in the summer. But we almost took the 2.25, and that would have cashed again. So we might start having to ride these
Something about the two and the
Juventus small
quarters.
overs. Yeah, I kind of like it though. I kind of like it. It's a ride for sure. But all in all, we're to go ahead and recap, our records here. let me get these pulled up.
I
Or
forget
I'll just
sometimes that
say them.
Arcadius Milik is still playing soccer. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Actually, we'll go over the record on next show just because you're not done yet. So I wanted to make sure it's finished out. But we're still both above 500, which is the good news. So something to salvage from my terrible weekend. Um, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the games this week. Starting off with Chelsea and Newcastle in the Premier League tomorrow, a Monday game. As a Chelsea fan, I'd like you to kind of give us what you have here, and I want to talk through some things with you.
Sure. Um,
Sure.
I mean, I have, as we've said before, you already have skin in the game, but I'm taking Chelsea money line. I don't love it, honestly, but this is kind of one of those spots where I feel like Chelsea sneak out a win. And Newcastle, like, just a weird team this year, just haven't really been able to be consistent. And neither is Chelsea, of course, but I think that at home at the Bridge, a Monday night game, it kind of just feels like, and Chelsea's played well against solid competition this year, which is just like
Frustrating.
annoying because when we play shit teams, we can't get the job done. But I don't think Newcastle is necessarily a shit team. They just haven't had a great year. But again, at home under the lights, it kind of just feels like a good spot for Chelsea.
The
Um,
bridge.
at the Bridge, amazing spot. So I think that yeah, this is a heart play for me, but I like them tomorrow night.
Hey, I'm currently contemplating this over, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, uh, Chelsea don't keep clean sheets. We know that.
Yep, that's kind of why I like it. Neither
Newcastle did
do
keep it clean.
neither do Newcastle most of the
They
time.
kept one. They kept one last week, but I agree that they also are leaky themselves. Um, and I do think that Chelsea will get a goal or two. I think that I feel pretty confident about that. Nicholas Jackson's in good form right now, which is I feel like the first time I've said that all year. Um, and I think we have the firepower to score against them. When we did play them earlier in the Carabao Cup this year, it was 1-0 at the Bridge, but that was also when I think Chelsea were still trying to find their feet going forward. So I think this is a bit of a different Chelsea going forward than it was then, especially if we're playing Mudryk at the 10, which maybe he might have found something there. So yeah, I don't mind the over. I think Chelsea overs have been recently a solid play just because you don't really know what you're going to get from them. So yeah, I lean the over also. I'm not going to play. I'm just going to play the money line, but for your sake, I kind of like the over also.
I just don't love 3.5. If I got 3, I'd love it and play that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I might
if you can play that at three,
a
two, three and a
quarter.
half, then at least if it doesn't get, if you get hooked a little bit, then at least you'll get half of it.
Yeah, why I was saying is because Chelsea are ranked 8th in goals and having kept a clean sheet in 8 matches, while Newcastle are 6th in goals and have scored 10 goals in the last 5 matches. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the numbers are showing it'll be an over game. I just these teams are weird, so I'm gonna go with 3.5 here, I guess, or I guess I'll go with 3.25. So I'll add it to my sheet and pray that I don't get the first game jitters like we talked about. But we will see how that goes. Now to go to the Champions League, we have a couple good matches on the docket here, and we can start with Arsenal Porto. I know you have something in this.
Yeah, I mean, this just feels like the spot where kind of like Bayern. I'm not gonna take Porto here, like I did with Lazio. I think Arsenal are very good, and I think they're a much better team than Porto, and I expect them at home to take care of business. I'm going to take them on their spread -1.5 to 2. Um, just feels like the spot where Arsenal, similar to Bayern, bag the goals. Porto are going to sit back, and Arsenal will get their goals. So yeah, I'm just going to take Arsenal here. it just feels like the right play for me.
Yeah, they're remarkable at home, so can't blame you for doing that. So we'll see how that goes. You never know with Porto because you don't get to see them that much. They have been in good form, but it's also the Champions League under the lights at the Emirates. They're going to be juiced up, ready to go. So that'll be just a fun game in general to watch. But I think Arsenal will probably be able to go through and get it done. Now we'll go to Atletico Madrid versus Inter Milan. Like I said, last Champions League slate with these games, I have Inter Milan to advance. So I'm not going to play anything here, but I do have skin in the game, I guess you could say.
I like that. Yeah, I mean, I don't have that play, but I do have Inter Pick'em. I know Atletico are a different team at home. Simeone is going to have the crowd going as he always does, but I just think Inter too strong for Atletico. Obviously, great defensively. I thought about taking the under. I know it's against what we do, but I took it last time. When I did take it last time, it hit, but I don't think Inter is going to be necessarily sitting back. Like I, they have a lot of firepower going forward. Marcus Thuram's had a great year. Lautaro Martinez is dangerous. I mean, I don't know. I think that Atletico, they're not necessarily known for going forward. I know they have Griezmann, but
Not
I
right now.
just, well, yeah, he is injured. You're right. So, I mean, I just don't see. I think Atletico move on, and so I'm going to take them. Pick them. Sorry, Inter. I think Inter move on. So I think that's why I have them pick them in this game. I just think they're a much better team than Atletico is.
And they're what up? They're up 1-0, so they'd have to. It's a tight one. So I like that line. I just don't want to double down on Inter, so I'm staying away. But
Yeah,
if I didn't have that, I'd probably be going with you. Um, Dortmund PSV should be a fantastic game as well. Don't know
that'll
what
be
to
fun.
expect in that. I would lean over 3 since Dortmund have a full squad here, and it is the yellow wall. But with PSV, you just don't know what you're going to get from them. So I'm just staying away from this game. But I think it should be one of the more fun ties of this weekend or week. Excuse me. Now you have we both have a play in the Barcelona Napoli game, and we are taking our talents to Napoli here, which,
Mm-hmm.
if you asked me a week ago, would I be doing this? I probably would have told you no. But with Rafinha injured, with De Jong, Pedri injured, I'm kind of liking Napoli in the spot as they're getting hot under Francisco Calzona.
I could see this game going to extra time. Um, just like you said, Barcelona banged up right now, and I don't know. I mean, both have had a good amount of games recently, but I think that Napoli or rather Barcelona. I don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to get from them, and so I feel more confident taking Napoli with Osimhen and up top, and as dangerous as he is, I think that this is a pretty good. I get him at plus half. Um, I like that value a lot.
I do too. I do too. And it's not like they're at the Camp Now. They're at whatever the other stadium is, which is not that good of a venue. So it's not like the
No,
home crowd, I think, is going to, spur them on to go do something wild here. But Xavi's feeling the heat, so I guess they might be able to pull this out of their ass. But I like the 90-minute, plus a half, and we kind of see what happens in extra time. Lazio Udinese play on Monday as well. This Lazio money line's a trap because they had 3 red cards in the last match. That's why the line's like that. So I would definitely stay away from this.
do your
So
research, kids.
we'll just keep going, but I just wanted to make that known because I looked at it first and was like, and then I realized why. Now, to go to the Europa League, Rangers Benfica should be a pretty good game here, and it's at Pick'em,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me think about it a little bit. But Benfica have been weird as of late, so I think I'm just gonna sit this one out.
It's going to be another great atmosphere in Scotland.
Glasgow, or however you
Yeah,
say it.
Glasgow. Um, I don't have anything in this game. It was a great first. It was a great first leg.
It was.
Um, but yeah, I don't really know where. I don't know what I would take in this game. I mean, I think Benfica are definitely more talented, but Rangers at home are scary. So I'm not. I'm just not going to touch it.
Yeah, I was letting the over. That's why I was thinking about. But I just Benfica just don't have an out and out goal scorer up top right now. I would like Marcus Leonardo to be that guy, but he doesn't get any playing time. And Cabral is not that good either. So we'll move on. But yeah, this should be a good tie. Don't also have anything this AC Milan Slavia Prague because the tie it's still tight, I guess you could say. So I don't know. I think Milan will probably be able to get it done, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard. Some of the second legs are hard to bet on just because, especially if it's a little lopsided, you don't really know what you're going to get. 4-2 game, the first game over flew, but that was also because of a red card. So I don't know. I feel like Europa is always a great spot to take an over. Just really, no matter what the team is, like Europa over is the real thing, I think. And I mean, it just gets a little, especially the first leg, because you both teams are gonna be jacked up for it. The second leg, just it's all based on scoreline, right? So I mean, I don't really know what I would take in this one either. Probably Milan if I really had to, but I don't think I'm going to take anything.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Villarreal Marseille, that tie is over. West Ham,
Mm-hmm.
big game against Freiburg to stay alive. Don't know if they'll be able to do it. It is at West Ham's home, so that'll give them a chance to win this match. So maybe minus 135 is good value, but I'm not I'm not comfortable with putting money on a team that just tied Burnley, if I'm being completely honest. So I will pass. Now you have an over here. I took it last leg. You're taking it this leg with Atalanta Sporting over. I wouldn't mind if you talked me into this, but let's hear it.
Mm-hmm. Well, hopefully this time Sporting starts Jokeris. But
Seriously.
also, I mean, as I said earlier, with taking Atalanta today, like they are dangerous, and they have guys who Coop Miners, like you said, dangerous. So you took it last week, and I'm gonna hop back on because I think last week should have hit, and because it's still a tied tie. Um, it should be another fun game, and I think both these teams typically provide overs. So yeah, I'm just gonna ride this one over 2.5 to 3.
I got you. I like it. I like it. I might tail that quietly with you. Um, don't really care about any of this. I do have over 3.5 in the Liverpool Sparta Prague game. Um, it's Liverpool. It's an over.
Mm-hmm.
You take it. The
Mm-hmm.
tie is done, so they'll probably play a younger team with Man United at the weekend. So I could just see goals galore here. Sparta's defense was terrible. We should be a little bit leaky, so I'm kind of liking this number, and I'm willing to risk it for the biscuit here. Let's see if there's anything
I
else. I
was
think that's. Oh,
I was
what was
thinking I
it?
was thinking about taking Leverkusen spread, just being back at home, and that first game was weird. It almost feels like
Tarbag's
kind of
good
similar to
though.
ours. They are, but also it almost feels like similar to Arsenal Porto. It's just once it goes back home for me, I think that Leverkusen could just dominate them. So I'm not going to take it, but I have a lean on Leverkusen -2 to 2.5.
Little lean guy. I love it.
Leans.
If I leaned anything right here, it'd probably be Sparta Prague plus 1 3/4, depending on how the lineup looks. Now, if we field a strong lineup, that would be different. But we're up what five
It's
something.
4-4
No, I think we scored 5. So 5-1, 5-2,
5-1.
something.
Yeah,
5-1.
5-1
So I would imagine Klopp rest some guys. Now, when it comes
should.
to the Europa Conference League, everything's pretty ugly. This game, Aston Villa Ajax, should be interesting. Definitely not touching anything. But we'll see. I could see my lean here is Club Brugge mold over. I took it
Mm.
I played it very small. on Thursday last week, and it went over in the last second on a beautiful counterattack. So I was very pleased with that. But yeah, so that's all we got. Just to recap here, I also have Bournemouth Luton over 3.5. I forgot to go over that. My fault.
Well, is that next weekend or
It's
when
on
is that?
Wednesday. It's on Wednesday.
I'm adding it. I have
Let's
to.
go. Let's go. Join me, Harrison. Join me.
I have to.
No, we have to.
It's a pod play. It's a pod play.
Just don't think it, just take it. So just to recap here, since we forgot about that, I have Bournemouth Luton over 3.5, Newcastle Chelsea over 3.5, Napoli plus a half point, Liverpool Sparta over 3.5. Harrison, what do you have?
Chelsea money line, Arsenal -1.5 to 2, Napoli plus half, Bournemouth Luton over 3.5, Inter Milan pick'em, and Atalanta Sporting Lisbon over 2.5.
Let us cook. Best of luck this week, and we will see you on Thursday.